Hello everyone, this is Dr. Obsidia. Thanks for joining my channel today. I'm going to be introducing my top 10 games for older systems. That includes games that I've played and some that I may have checked out a little bit, but I thought they have a really good deal going on in the Steam Summer Sale, and I wanted to point out a few of these. Not everyone that watches my channel has great PC gaming power, so some of these games might be quite interesting to the different people who are here, especially if they're not minding going back to the older generation systems that are the older generation game engines and so on to play some of the systems that were quite innovative for the time and even today are really fun to play still. I look back on some of these that I have on my list and I realize I do revisit them from time to time. So let's take a look at some of them. They're not in any particular order. The first game that I want to introduce is called Faster Than Light. Or FTL as they say. You can see the reviews here overwhelmingly positive, 96-95%. Lots of people have played this game. It's only about $2.50. It's 75% off right now. If you like Star Trek, this is a game that you can't go wrong with. It's not going to challenge your system. You can run it on pretty much anything that has a CPU these days. The premise of the game is basically you trying to move your ship across the galaxy while being chased by the Empire. You're trying to get away from them, stay ahead of them as they close in behind you. While you're making your way through the different systems you encounter various trials, various enemy ships, and you get loot from them, and you outfit your ship. As you can see, you can get different kinds of crew members. You move them around to repair damage, to man systems, and to try to keep your ship moving. Once your ship's defeated, the game is over, so you have to restart. But, as it says right now on the screen, there is a randomized new galaxy every time you restart, so it's always going to be different. They've added quite a bit to the game since it came out. It's something you might want to take a look at if you're into these types of genres. The next game I'm going to talk about is called Banished. If you like city building games, this one is probably right down your alley. You start with a small group of settlers, and you are basically on your own. You go out into the wilderness, and you have to carve a living from basically nothing. You build houses, your people live and die, they have children. You move them into various settlement areas and they can do farming and forestry. They can harvest herbs. Of course, they mine and things as well. And there's a trader that comes down the river that you can trade with. There are plenty of mods as well for this game. So it's something I recommend checking out. It's 66% off and it's running probably around $7 US in your location. The next game to talk about is a very old game, 2005, Sid Meier's Pirates, and it even comes from before that, back in the old console games. I believe it was probably Nintendo or even Super Nintendo. This is the remade version of it. It does have a cartoony feel, like a Disney-like quality to it, Pirates of the Caribbean. It's not anything too difficult or spectacular, but it is fun to play. Back in 2006 and around 2010, I did play quite a bit of this game. It's simple, it's easy, and it's only about $2.50 on Steam, 75% off. There's quite a bit of good content here, and you can see they do have a pirate bundle if you're interested in the pirate genres as well. You can get various ships, make trading packs, and buy and sell things, also loot ships, and try to conquer forts, settlements, find treasure, get married, and everything that you think a pirate should be able to do in a Disney movie. Check it out if you're interested. Can't go wrong for $2.50. I'm sure you could put at least a couple hours into it. If you like city building games, you might be into a farm style game. You might remember the old Farmville from Facebook and those kinds of games. Well, this branches out into the similar thing where you inherit a farm plot and you have to turn it from nothing into something spectacular. Beyond that, there's also the city nearby with a lot of interesting people there. You can go there and do quests for them or give them gifts. You can fish, you can farm different items, you can sell them and also turn them in for rewards. You basically can quest and even fight against little monsters and things. It's a cute game. It's fun. It's a definite time sink. I think you would definitely enjoy this if you're into this type of game. It's very popular, as you can see. Again, overwhelmingly positive, 98% review. Even if this is something you've never really played before, you might enjoy putting quite a few hours into it. And for around $10 with the 40% discount, I think it's worth it. Alright, let's roll back the clock for this one. Jagged Alliance 2 with the Wildfire update. The Wildfire was a community update that came out that they expanded a lot of the gameplay elements and made it a little more realistic. Now this game probably dates back to before 2000, as I recall. I played a lot of it back then. What you do is you make your own character, you hire mercenaries, and you go through trying to liberate this country from a dictator. Now, a lot of games that have come out lately have fallen back on the old indie style graphics, so this still keeps it fresh. You can find games that are just like this, that are still coming out today, not challenging to your system, fun to play, and the story is pretty engaging. The people that you hire are definitely mortal, so they could die if they're shot. They bleed. You can loot different towns and try to solve the mysteries involved with everything and get different weapons, repair things, and try to save the country of Aruko from their dictatorship. For only about $3, I think it's worth it. The next game up is Baldur's Gate, the Enhanced Edition. Now I've got to put this with the other Baldur's Gate 2 and its DLC as well. Baldur's Gate is a Dungeons & Dragons game from Tales of the Sword Coast campaign or expansion. Baldur's Gate is a city within that Forgotten Realms campaign. The next game is Baldur's Gate, the Enhanced Edition, and it does have an expansion available as well. You can check out Baldur's Gate 2 and Baldur's Gate 1 and the DLC that's involved with them. This is an older game that was enhanced. I played this a lot back in the day with my friends, and we really enjoyed it. It's a D&D style based on the 2nd edition D&D campaign rules. It's based in the Forgotten Realms universe around the city of Baldur's Gate. You control a party, you run around, you use each individual person's class and abilities to overcome the obstacles using dialogue and trying to unravel the mystery. There's plenty of side quests as well. Each character that you have in your party is one of the NPCs that you recruit and turns into someone that you control. So they have their own personalities that are quite rich. I think that if you like D&D, Dungeons & Dragons, or this type of RPG game, as long as you can figure out the old combat style, the rules, and the modifiers and things to maximize your ability to hit things, you'll have fun with it. And even if you don't care much about that, it's not that hard overall, I think. It does have a good story, and there's a lot of equipment, a lot of characters, a lot of dialogue. It's fun to mess around with your character, and you'll probably enjoy this game a lot, including its expansions. I can't talk about Baldur's Gate without mentioning Icewind Dale either. Icewind Dale came along shortly after Baldur's Gate. This is the Enhanced Edition.
There were strangers in town.
In Baldur's Gate, you recruited NPCs that became your controlled characters. In Icewind Dale, you make your own party completely, and you run through the entire story with the people that you create. It was a good game. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm sure you will too.
And welcome to my home.
If you're very interested in the entire collection, you can get the Infinity Bundle down here that has all of those games in it, including Planescape Torment, which was very popular when it was released. Following along with the RPG element, Dragon Age Origins, which has now moved over from EA, the Origin, although I think you could have gotten it here earlier. They've started moving EA games over to this platform as well, this distributor. Dragon Age Origins is a game about a hero that has to fight against these evil creatures called Darkspawn. You start out and determine your legacy, your class, and you move through the entire game trying to overcome all of the enemies, to unravel the story, and to become the hero that can save the land from this spreading darkness. Dragon Age Origins has a lot of options for dialogue and character customization, and you can see down here that it talks about some of these things, such as the moral choices and the combat that is quite good. You do get some people that follow you around, and you do give them some triggered commands that they follow as you shift through the different people. You only control one at a time. It is a great game. I highly recommend it. It came out in 2009, so your system probably can handle it. Right now it's only running for about $6, so check it out. Grand Theft Auto 3, Grand Theft Auto 4, and the ones that go along with 3, such as San Andreas and Vice Cities, are all good games to check out as well. You should be able to handle these with your system since they came out a while ago. The graphics, of course, have been upgraded significantly throughout the different generations of Grand Theft Auto. So if you go back to 3, it's going to look a little bit blocky compared to what you move up to in 5. However, the older games do have a good story. They do have great quests. And if you like driving cars, if you like being a little bit of the bad guy, or maybe a lot of the bad guy, it's a game that you might want to check out. I enjoyed Grand Theft Auto 3 a lot. The protagonist doesn't talk at all, but he gets kind of famous for that in the later episodes, such as San Andreas. Vice City reminds me a lot of Scarface, which is definitely what they were going for. And Grand Theft Auto 5 is, of course, going to challenge systems and does have the online aspect to it. However, 3 and 4 and the various expansions that go with them are very enjoyable. So check those out. They are pretty cheap. Even 4 is only for about $8.50, 65% off. And I'm sure you could get the other ones equally cheap.
"100 years ago, a satellite detected an object under the sands of the Great Desert.
Homeworld, the Remastered Collection. This has Homeworld 1 and 2. This came out around 2003. When it came out, I was shocked at how good it looked and how fun it was.
Expedition was sent. An ancient starship buried in the sand.
I thought that they would take this engine and run with it. I could see it working for Star Wars or Star Trek, but I didn't see that come about. It's a little bit unfortunate they didn't pursue it further.
The course of our history forever. On the stone was etched a galactic map and a single word.
In the game, you fly a fleet. You control a fleet, you build your ships, you harvest resources, and you're trying to move your fleet through the galaxy to find your new home. As you can see, it's a 3D game, and it is really interesting with all of the different ship types and classes. It is slow moving. It doesn't have a whole lot of stress. The music is very relaxing. The visuals were really amazing, and it feels really like an alive and interesting and art-type style space combat. During its time, it was a very good game. I enjoyed it a lot, and I think you will too. Even with an older system, you should be able to run it just fine.
There's one on you. He's on site.
And that concludes the 10 games that I had for older systems. Actually, it may have been a little more than 10 games because I did recommend the different genres of Grand Theft Auto, or you may consider it less because I did recommend Baldur's Gate and Icewind Dale as 2 separate games. However, I think that gives you enough to look at. If you're interested, they all have pretty good deals on Steam right now, and since they're older, you're going to save quite a bit of money on them. You can get some really great games that you can put a lot of hours into, especially if you're running on a laptop, and some of those might even work on a tablet. Check them out and let me know in the comments section below if you have any other recommendations. Please like and subscribe if you like my content. Also check out some of my Let's Play gaming videos and series that I'm developing right now. Thanks for joining. Have a great day. I hope to see you in the next video.